So San Diego Studio just put out their first feature premiere for MLB The Show 25, and in this live stream, they went into detail about new gameplay features coming to the game, such as ambush hitting, the adjustments to the throw meter, and much more. And in this video, I'm going to break down all the things they talked about in this stream, so you know exactly what to expect going into MLB 25 as far as gameplay. As always, if you enjoy this video and you learned something, hit that like button for me, and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more MLB 25 videos all year long. So the first part of this stream highlighted the new ambush hitting feature. And what we knew about this feature going into this live stream is that it's a new extension of zone hitting where you can choose to highlight either the inside or outside part of the plate. And it basically gives you a risk reward element by sitting on a certain type of pitch. If the pitcher proceeds to throw the ball on the side of the plate that you highlighted, your PCI size will increase. And if the pitcher throws the ball on the other side of the plate, your PCI will shrink and it'll be harder to hit that pitch. So it's all about having a plan at the plate and understanding the risk reward element of guessing right or wrong. And I'm going to let a clip play from the stream where they kind of talk about that risk reward element a little bit more.
These guys can't walk up to the plate, look for a fastball in and look for a fastball away. You just can't do it. So especially when you're ahead in the count, ambush hitting gives you the ability to kind of attack and have your own little scouting report and plan based on how that pitcher's attacking you that day. So if I look for a fastball in, I move the right stick to the left if I'm a right-handed hitter, and I can jump on that inside fastball. And what it does is it gives you a little bit of an edge. It gives you like basically a bigger bat and a little better timing window, right? But if I guess wrong, it's going to shrink that PCI. So on the opposite side, probably shrinks it about 2 difficulties higher, and your timing slightly worse. But it doesn't mean you can't hit a mistake when you guess the wrong side.
So 2 difficulties higher, that is significant. If you're playing on something like all-star difficulty and you're ambushing the inner half of the plate and then the pitcher proceeds to throw the ball away, your PCI could shrink to the size of a legend PCI. And if you've played MLB The Show on both all-star and legend difficulty, you know how significant that change in size of the PCI is. And this is why it goes back to the idea of this whole thing being having a plan at the plate. You probably are not going to want to use ambush hitting on something like a 2-strike count, because if you guess wrong, putting the ball in play is going to be significantly more difficult, whereas if you're ahead in the count, ambush hitting could be really helpful because now you have that breathing room of not having to worry if you guess wrong for a pitch or two because you're ahead. You're looking for something in a specific spot. Now, another thing they wanted to make sure was clear is that this is not the same as guess pitch.
And to just address a question real quick that I have been seeing in chat, this is not the same as guess pitch, right, Gil Connor? The pitcher has no idea which side of the plate I'm ambushing.
I know that was something that a lot of people were pointing out. It's like, ooh, this has already been in the game with guess pitch. There is a difference. Your opponent is not going to see that you're guessing in that spot. They'll just kind of have to infer by saying, hey, he's hitting a lot of fastballs on the inner part of the plate. He might be ambushing there. That's kind of what you need to know about ambush hitting. And at the end of the day, this whole feature is completely optional. You don't have to use it. You can turn it on or off on a pitch-by-pitch basis, and it's just an extra tool for you to use at the plate, which could make your life easier or could make it a lot more difficult. I think this feature sounds really cool. I'm definitely going to use it in certain situations. I'm not going to have it on every single pitch, of course, but I like this addition to hitting. I think it's going to make a big impact in online play. Let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments. The next area they highlighted is infield reactions. There's going to be a much bigger emphasis on infield fielding this year, and you're going to want to have players with high fielding and high reaction because these changes should be pretty noticeable.
So the better the fielder is, the quicker they're going to start. And we are going to show you with an animation. It's very subtle. It's within hundreds of seconds, but it makes a big difference. It's the difference between a ground ball getting through the infield or a 99 diamond guy getting the best jump and going to field the ball.
Yeah, and we have them in 3 different buckets, right? In terms of okay jumps, good jumps, and then the perfect jumps. So it really does depend. If you have those attributes that are higher, you're going to have a better chance at a perfect jump that's going to get you to the ball to throw the runner out.
So like you're seeing on the screen right here, we're showing the exact same hit in the exact same location, but we are showing you 3 different start transitions, 3 different animations. One, you can see that he gets to the ball cleanly on his feet. The other one, you're seeing he's diving for the ball. And then the yellow one, I should have said the blue one, obviously he's getting there, standing up. The green one, he has to dive, and the yellow start transition, he can't even get to the ball. So that's the difference between the three.
So reaction is going to be extremely important in the infield this year, especially because they're talking about these 3 buckets of animations that players can get, with yellow being okay, green being good, and blue being perfect. And they even gave us this graphic, which has 3 different attributes and the percentages that they can get for any type of animation. If you have a guy with 99 reaction, he's going to get that perfect jump basically every time. If you're more in the middle, around 75, you have a little bit less than a 50% chance to get that type of reaction. And if you're really risking it with fielders out there, you're going to see a lot of yellow reactions, which you don't want. We'll see how this plays when we get our hands on the game, but I do really appreciate them putting up these actual percentages to give us a better idea of what we can expect with these. And obviously, as it says at the bottom, these will change based on the type of hit. But as a general idea, the difference between a guy with 75 reaction and 99 is going to be extremely significant, as it should be. Next up, they talk a little bit about the changes coming to the throw meter. They're changing up a little bit where the perfect region will lie in the throw meter. We're used to it being right in the middle of the green region, but now they've moved perfect to the end of the green region on the right, which puts it right next to a red region. Beforehand, it was just right in the middle of the green, so if you missed it a little bit to the left or right, you were still guaranteed a green throw. Whereas now, if you miss it to the right, you're going to have a red throw, which is going to result in something going offline or something like an errant throw. There's now going to be a lot more risk with getting a perfect throw. And they also provided this graphic showing how the accuracy attribute is going to affect that perfect range. So once again, having better fielders is going to be a huge advantage. Next up, they highlighted the changes to the new home run rob meter.
We changed the art. So essentially, in years past, the timing of robbing a home run was when the meter got to the top. It was basically telling you when the ball was going to cross over the plane of the fence. The problem with that is that the animations had to be adjusted through speed of like faking how fast it went or how slow it went, because they didn't line up perfectly. So now the new change is a whole new system where you can see on the screen the new green region is in the middle of the meter, and what that's allowing you to do is it gives you the ability to jump or use the jump button a little bit earlier or right on time if you get there at the right time. And what I mean by that is, if I'm running full speed at the warning track and the line is getting into the green region, I can hit jump as I'm getting on the warning track, and he will slow down, wait for it, and jump. And so we have a lot of animations, a lot of new Rob home run animations that come from every angle and all the timings, from standing and running. So everything's covered. The only thing that's going to matter is your attribute in fielding.
So I think I understand what he's saying, where we're now just trying to aim for that green region of the rob meter, and then we're just letting the fielding attributes basically do the rest of the work, and hopefully we get the home run robbery that we're looking for. Kind of reserving judgment on this until I get my hands on the game and I can play around with it myself. Throughout these clips, you're also seeing certain badges pop up under fielders. There could be like a glove, or there could be an arm. Basically, these icons are correlated to certain fielding attributes, and when these icons pop up under a fielder as an action is happening, it's basically kind of giving you an idea of, okay, this guy's a diamond fielder, or this guy does not have a lot of arm strength. It's just another visual cue that'll represent a player's strength or weakness, depending on what they're doing when they're in the field in that certain situation. Next up, they showed a few more clips of the new first-person POV mode that you can enter when you're player locked. Pretty much the same as we saw from before, but they did clarify that you can turn this on or off at any time. You don't have to like go into a game saying you're going to be in first person the entire time. It's completely optional, and you can turn it on or off as you please. Now, continuing with the player lock stuff, they also highlighted the new cut ball feature that you can use as either a first baseman, third baseman, or catcher, where you now have the ability to make a cutoff throw to go to a different base if you're playing those corner infield positions. You hit the cutoff spot, the ball comes in, you can then use that little showtime animation to pick where you want to throw the ball, and this will be good for Road to the Show players that play those different positions. I liked when they showed it from the catcher point of view, because the catcher is kind of the general on the field, and you can make that decision for your corner infielders to throw to a certain base on that cutoff. Then they showed some more examples of of that swim move slide we saw from the gameplay trailer with Trey Turner sliding into second base. You'll get that little animation where you have to make a move with a stick to get that swim slide. And they even showed some examples of the player failing it as well. And lastly, they talked about some quality of life updates. This will make a lot of people happy. There is an emphasis now on reduced pause time in online games. They have now changed it from 3 minutes and 30 seconds to 1 minute and 30 seconds. And now for co-op, it is a shared timer. Now on the other side of that, they have made a change with warming up pitchers, and I'm not sure how I feel about this.
A lot of good players will know immediately to warm up their pitchers off the rip. That is no longer needed. Warming up pitchers, not a thing anymore in online play. Pitchers are going to come in fully warm, ready to go, so you're not going to constantly be having people pausing to go warm up their next guy based on the lefty-righty matchups coming up.
So no more warming up pitchers in online play. They're just going to come in like fully ready. Now, on one hand, this seems so weird because it's very rare that a pitcher comes into the game without having warmed up. But on the other side of things, I get it because realistically, all you had to do to get a pitcher from not warm at all to fully warmed up was put him up in the bullpen, immediately do a mound visit, and then he was immediately ready. So I guess I understand by shaving off that extra bit of pause time, you don't really need to do that, but it just feels a little weird that pitchers are going to come in like ready to go without having thrown a single warm-up pitch. I guess I'm okay with it for the trade-off of less pause time, but let me know what you guys think. Another thing to highlight is that we got the confirmation that the sweeper will be a brand new pitch in MLB 25 this year. It will not be replacing a slider. It's not replacing something like a slurve or anything like that. It is its own new pitch, and I'm very curious to see what the break looks like on that thing. And that leads me into GOAT difficulty, the new difficulty coming to MLB 25. What we know about this difficulty so far is it's a tier above legend difficulty. Fastballs are going to be faster. Breaking pitches are going to have more break, and I'm going to cry every time I have to play it. But here's a little bit more about GOAT difficulty and when you can expect to see it.
GOAT, once again, it's not going to be in everything, but you will have the opportunity to see GOAT difficulty, play through GOAT difficulty. If you reach 1,000+ rating in ranked, you will no longer be on legend still, you will be on GOAT. I know y'all have seen some weekend classic teasers. Yes, you will also be on GOAT difficulty in the highest reward division. And then lastly, yes, it will be included in esports. More details for when you might see it later on. And then GOAT difficulty will be an option in most single player modes, just like rookie, veteran, all-star, Hall of Fame, legend. You have the opportunity to choose it. But in terms of online play, you're going to see it in the very rare 1,000+ ranked rating, the highest division in weekend classic. So don't worry. If it takes you a little while to get to GOAT, odds are you're not going to see it for a little bit, so it's going to be okay.
So yeah, GOAT difficulty. It's going to be harder than Legend. For all the freaks out there that are too good at Legend difficulty, now you've got a new challenge. Go have fun. So that's pretty much what we got in the first MLB The Show 25 stream. A lot of details about a lot of these gameplay changes coming to the game. I think a lot of them do look positive. I'm excited to try out ambush hitting to see just how good the reward versus the risk is. I'm excited to start crafting my lineup again and having to think about fielding attributes. I'm not excited to ever try out GOAT difficulty, but I know I will. Either way, a lot of good information about MLB 25 today. Let me know about your thoughts down in the comments, and I believe the next feature premiere is all about Road to the Show, so I'll see you guys then.